Live at noon, this is 13 News Now.
Well, believe it or not, Harvey is now making its presence known in our area as we keep an eye on Irma, which we just found out lost some steam. Thanks for watching 13 News Now at noon. I'm Andre Sr.
And I'm Ashley Smith. Lucy has the afternoon off. So back to Harvey. That's now a post-tropical storm, but it flooded the streets of Nashville last night. So you can see that kind of in the top right of your screens there.
Yeah, and now Harvey is part of our wet holiday weekend here in Hampton Roads. Meteorologist Tim Pantages here with more on Harvey's remnants and how it will affect us and the latest on Hurricane Irma.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Yeah, Harvey has really lost a lot of its tropical characteristics, which is why it's now post-tropical, but still has a lot of heavy rains as it gets absorbed by a cold front that's heading on through our direction. You see a few waves of some lighter showers moving on through Hampton Roads at the lunch hour. Again, really hit or miss, spotty sprinkles and light showers through South Side and the Chesapeake, Norfolk, and heading into Virginia Beach later. You dive south into North Carolina, a little bit of a heavier, more moderate shower that just rolled through Elizabeth City. These will come a little more expansive and widespread as we get through the later parts of the day. As you see the remnants of Harvey there, going to slowly move along this stalled out front that right now is to our south. But tomorrow it lifts back north as a warm front, in turn returning our temperatures back up into the mid-80s. This afternoon, kind of chilly out there, raw in spots in the 60s. Our winds have switched up out of the north to northeast behind that front. That's going to keep us well below average for the day today. 68 now in Williamsburg, 71 in Portsmouth. Winds also up out there, especially along the ocean front, seeing some higher gusts up to 20 to 30 miles an hour. Farther inland, just a light breeze, but keep that in mind close to the coastline. 10, 20 mile an hour winds with higher gusts. As we go through the rest of the day today, mostly cloudy with scattered showers, and as we get through the later part, maybe even a rumble of thunder or two with more widespread showers building on in. We'll talk about that weekend outlook and, of course, the latest on Irma coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
We have some breaking news right now out of Penn State. A judge has ordered 12 members of a university fraternity to stand trial in a pledge's death. But the judge threw out the most serious charges, including involuntary manslaughter and aggravated assault. The judge also dismissed charges against 4 Beta Theta Pi members. 19-year-old Tim Piazza died after consuming a toxic level amount of alcohol. Police say Piazza suffered for hours from severe head and abdominal injuries before his frat brothers even called for help.
Well, now to this, just into the newsroom, an arrest in a homicide in Edenton. 36-year-old Edward Wiggins is accused of shooting and killing 51-year-old Ronald Taylor on Church Street last week. Now, Wiggins turned himself in this morning. He is behind bars without bond. And now to the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. Today, the morgue in Houston actually closed because it had no more room for bodies. And that's another example of just how bad the situation continues to be in Texas.
And this afternoon, we're getting a better look at the aftermath now. Overnight, the death toll rose to 39, 25 of those deaths in Harris County. That's in the Houston area. And so far, rescue crews have pulled 13,000 people from the floodwaters. Early estimates put the cost of the storm, the damage, at $190 billion.
Record rainfall from Hurricane Harvey has finally stopped in Texas, but the rescues are continuing from endless floods. Now, thousands are still without power at this hour, and those returning home are being warned of hidden dangers. So ABC's Elizabeth Herr is in Houston with the very latest.
First responders in Houston, part of a block-by-block search team, not just fighting fires in chest-deep waters. They're trying to rescue families.
Back curb, guys. Fire hydrant.
And now facing new hidden dangers in the toxic flood waters, including possible electrocution.
They couldn't even help my son. They couldn't resuscitate him. He was in electrified water. 2 volunteer rescuers are reportedly dead and 2 more missing after their boat was electrocuted by power lines underwater. This as dramatic rescues by air and boat are continuing in southeast Texas, with residents of Beaumont without access to clean drinking water and the city looking more like an island. Local sheriffs rushing to flooded homes, with rivers and bayous reaching their breaking points in Orange County, Texas.
They've got no place to go.
And volunteers from all across the state and country are bringing their own boats to the city of Vidor, looking for stranded survivors.
We thought it would never happen to us.
Then in Crosby, Texas, residents within 1.5 miles from a chemical plant remain evacuated after explosions and a fire at the facility, and officials warning more fires are inevitable. Where we are, organizers say more than 3,000 people are already here seeking shelter, and they say more flood victims are on the way from other areas, including Beaumont. Elizabeth Hur, ABC News, Houston.
Well, the entire nation is watching these gripping images you see here. And now there's an outpouring of support for those affected by Hurricane Harvey.
And in a nation that is seemingly so divided, it is times like these that show the true American spirit. The disaster has brought victims and volunteers together. Big companies, too, like Amazon, matching up to $1 million in donations to the Red Cross. Walmart pledged $20 million in support. But even on a smaller scale, everyone seems to be pitching in. Children starting up lemonade stands to raise money.
I don't need anything. I just want to make a donation.
Thank you, sir. Jet was a little concerned the past few days. And, you know, we were just trying to think of things we could do to help.
And lesser-known organizations like the National Diaper Bank Network are providing supplies to families. Victims will need all the help they can get to. The cost for repairs is estimated, as we said just a moment ago, at $190 billion.
Virginia Beach-based Task Force 2 continues to rescue flood survivors, and so far they have assisted more than 500 people, as well as several dogs and cats in Katy, Texas. The team consists of firefighters who specialize in water rescue from Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Newport News, and Henrico County.
Meantime, the number of animals separated from their families continues to rise because of the storm, and now shelters here in Hampton Roads are taking in shelter pets from the Gulf Coast.
So the idea here is the more pets adopted locally, the more space they have to take in homeless animals from Texas. Local shelters tell us they are trying to make the best of a really bad situation with the hope of reuniting lost pets with their families. So make sure you stick around. Norfolk SPCA Executive Director Rob Blizzard will join us in just a few minutes to tell us more about how you can help.
And you can also help Hurricane Harvey victims from your phone or your computer if you can make a donation. Our parent company Tegna is teaming up with the Red Cross. Head to 13newsnow.com and click the Texas Cares link on our homepage. You can also click the Texas Cares tile on our app. Remember, all donations are tax deductible, and we want to thank those who've already donated to help out with this effort.
Absolutely. A lot of people coming together for this.
Yes, they are.